zoom out a bit. 5-7 for the Gators, losing season, missed a bowl game, missed a chance at getting this young roster even more reps that are needed. I know there was this, do we really want a bowl game? Just go maybe lose again or whatever. I wanted the practices. But to me, where we're at right now, 5-7, in year two, to me, it's unacceptable. I don't care what Vegas put the over-under at. Teams overcome expectations all the time. I think Missouri was 6.5 as well. They're a 10-win team. Why can't Florida be the team to overcome the expectations? I don't care what Vegas put Florida at. It's a built-in excuse. Well, what did you expect? Vegas had Florida 5.5. I don't care. Go out there and overcome the expectation. Teams do it all the time. Why couldn't Florida be one of them? I mean, the loss to Arkansas was a culmination of it all. You guys know what I kind of put out after that game. Now it was just, once you lost that game, it couldn't really get much worse. But at the same time, you put these games in a bubble after that Arkansas game, you could be disappointed with the way it played out. But to have this season start 5-2, had some good feelings going into the Georgia game, as unlikely as the win was, but there were some good feelings going into that. But to lose 5 straight, that's inexcusable. The loss to Arkansas, the culmination of it all, that was a stunner. The loss to Missouri when all you had to do was stop a 4th and 17, inexcusable. Had Florida State on the ropes early, couldn't build a big enough lead, let them overcome that. Repeated self-inflicted issues, making the losing plays and not making the winning ones. And with the way these games played out in a bubble, Florida could have won these games. You could have, should have won Arkansas, could have won against Missouri, could have won versus Florida State. Found ways to lose all of them, resulting in this season ending earlier than it should. I don't care what the expectation was. When you're in position to win several games, you have to do so. It's coaching, it's lack of talent, it's injuries, it's youth. And honestly, that's too many excuses. In my opinion, that should not equal 5-7. Not at Florida. I'm not saying fire Billy Napier, but a lot of changes need to come. And as we move forward, I think it's fair to ask, where is it headed? That's the biggest question we have right now. And I did not see myself having that question 2 years into the tenure. I thought there would be a better, clearer path, a better, clearer direction of where this thing was headed after 2 years. We have a ton more questions than I thought we'd have 2 seasons in. What does he do so well? What is the identity of this program right now? There's not one. 2 years in, there's still no identity. Or it could be a negative identity. I think Will said it best. Maybe with these questions, maybe there are answers we just don't like. And there's a lot that needs to change. In a season, I can really only point to that the team plays hard for him, themselves. But give them that, and that should equal more than 5-7. This is year 2. This is Florida. We are better than, well, they played hard. That has to equal wins and losses. The parts that we're supposed to feel good about, the parts where we're supposed to take advantage were the details, the meticulous details that we thought we were getting with Billy Napier, the small things. The operation has leaks. While playing hard, they're also a team that hurts themselves way too much. And that's not all youth. That's not all lack of talent. These are inexcusable coaching operational issues that we just should not be seeing. Inexcusable penalties. A 2 offensive line coach staff that's not paying off on game days. But we know the talent issues. We know the injury issues. We know the youth issues. That means the coaches have to do their part. The control needs to be top notch, and it's not. And I think as we continue looking big picture here, continue to zoom out a little bit, it's only going to be harder for this talent acquisition part that we know is oh so important. Have to find a way to put the finishing touches on this good class, this 2024 class, and have to nail the transfer portal. But guys, right or wrong, fair or unfair, the hot seat talk is out there. And it's only going to gain more as we go by week now. It's going to follow Billy Napier in this aspect right now. It may not come from the administration. It may not come from UAA. It may not come from boosters, but it's certainly going to come from the fan base. It's certainly going to come from national media out there. Billy Napier was getting slammed hard last night because of this FSU game and the mistakes Florida was making. And of course, all that's just going to ramp up the hot seat talk. It's going to come from the media. But most importantly, it's going to come from your competition. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, but what do you think every portal target, what do you think every target, 17, 18-year-old kid right now is going to hear from the competition? It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It matters what they believe. And it's only going to make this talent acquisition part a lot harder. You know, this one aspect Billy Napier was mainly brought here for just now became harder. Wins matter. Can he overcome it? That's a question we have to ask ourselves right now. In this talent acquisition business, can he overcome what's going to be out there? It may not be fair. It may not be true. It doesn't matter. And one of the most important angles of it now, where we're talking about talent acquisition, keeping your current players on the roster. The better players on a bad team right now are already, guys, we know it, they're being tampered with. There's conversations going on. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. And if we are to be sold that this program is going to be built on the younger players that Napier is currently relying on, then that means they have to stay to see it through. You know, it's hard to sell the we need time angle if the players you're relying on end up leaving and not seeing it through. That we need time angle goes completely out the door. Priority number one is keeping the talent that you have while all these competition, all the other schools come in and try and poach. Florida's going to have to fight that in these next few weeks. No doubt about it. So all in all, through 2 years, what is the positive direction right now? What can we really point to? Are the staff changes that are coming a cure-all? Is the young developing talent enough to pay off in year 3 with a tough schedule? I like some of the young talent. Is there enough of it? Then we have to ask ourselves that. Can it pay off next year? It's going to have to. But I think as we attack this from every angle right now, the outlook is kind of bleak. Things have to change. And they can. They absolutely can. The changes that will be made have to pay off. I don't know if they will or not. I mean, look, not many coaches start this way in the SEC and go on to have success. History says it just doesn't happen. Can Billy Napier overcome that? It's going to be tough. I just laid it all out for why it's going to be a little bit harder now. The most important aspect of it is the talent acquisition part, and that's going to be hard with all the hot seat talk. It just is. There's no way we'll avoid it. We can't dig our head in the sand. It's out there. It's going to be out there. And in a lot of ways, rightfully so. Hopefully find a way to overcome it. But what are you selling to recruits and portal targets right now? When you might be coaching for your job next year. So hopefully all this young talent, all these young guys that we're excited about right now, hang around, believe in the vision, believe in the culture Billy Napier is building, and hopefully that bleeds over into some of these targets that you want to come in. But there needs to be a lot of changes for success next year. It's not just, oh, this player's a year older. This player, there's not enough of those players to make a huge difference next year. It should result in a better team. It should have resulted in a better team this year. But every level of the program right now needs to turn it around. And Billy Napier said after the game, of course, and we know this type of comment's coming. The evaluation is going to be hot and heavy in every detail. It's not acceptable to go 5-7. It's not acceptable to miss a bowl game. It all comes down to win and losses. In the end, that's all it comes down to. There needs to be heavy, heavy, heavy progress next year. So we'll keep up with it all. There's a lot of changes coming, staff-wise, I believe. Finishing up this 2024 class. The portal is going to be hot and heavy and crazy, but hey, there's going to be a lot of competition there. It's not just Florida going after these targets. It's not just Florida going after these offensive linemen and defensive linemen they so need so bad. And that's how hard it's going to be. That's what you've got to go out there and fight. This narrative that you're on the hot seat. You best bet the competition is going to use it. Billy Napier, the person, Billy Napier, the guy, selling this program. Hopefully he can continue to do it. I hope he does. I hope he turns this thing around. I want him to succeed. But my want and hope means nothing. They got to go out there and do it.